also who grow old in joint families. They would have a very specific meal. They would, and that is clearly determined by the rituals or rhythmic pattern of the lunar movement or the solar movement. I think that's Hindu. The second thing which you say that, is this a model? Well, this is a possible model, a possibility. I'm not pushing it forcefully. And ashram inmates who are in Vrindavan or Banaras or Jaipur, they come from a middle class, salaried, urban population of the society. They must have their own personal reasons to, say, live in Jaipur within the ashram campus, which does not allow even a television set. They don't even know what's going on in the share market, for example. These people have lived some 40-45 years of their life in Pune or in Delhi or Mumbai, and at some point they choose to live in an ashram and follow lunar and solar movements and their diets. They must have very specific personal reasons for well-being. And I am yet to experience that, so I cannot really put a question on that. I have simply took down what they told me, as an anthropologist would. Yeah? Coming back to Sharananji. Yes, my grand aunt, that's my grandfather's sister, she was a child widow and was a disciple of Sharananji Maharaj. He was visually challenged. My grandaunt Devki Devi, her other name is Divya Jyoti, she took over running all the ashrams, was a trained clinical psychologist. And she taught for several years in Ranchi University, and later she chose to run the ashrams. So you're very right when you say that apart from being simply a religious place, this was more of an education place. And various kinds of questions, even now, after the morning session of meditation is over, many kinds of intellectual and epistemological discourses are taken up among the ashram inmates. And, the tradition still runs. Coming back to your thing about Oshan, the Catholic old age home, I worked there as a caregiver and as an anthropologist. I was being paid for it, and also I did my fieldwork. One of the greatest difference which struck me between the people who were growing old in old age home in Oshan and the ashram in Vrindavan was the fundamental difference between Punarjanma and Punarmrityu. There was this whole thing which was repeated regularly by the ashram inmates in Vrindavan about this is not the first death and not the first birth. You have to come and go and come and go. So there was a sense of cyclic movement about life and coming back and experiencing other things and doing other things. Whereas in Oshan, there was a sense of closure till, how Catholic values go by. I cannot get into the details of Catholicism, but that says, it's a huge topic of a thesis in itself. It affects the worldview about how this kind of death is closure, whereas this kind of death also means coming back with a new form, a new community, a new set of things. So there is a certain, hope attached to this kind of decline, whereas that kind of decline, there is a certain kind of closure. So I cannot get into details of my ethnographic experiences in Oshan at the moment, maybe some other time, but it means a lot. And, was there another question? No, I think I've answered most of it.
Okay.
I have a couple of quick questions.
Yeah.
One is, I was very interested to see that these are you described these people as largely middle class, salaried, educated people. So presumably they are people who are faced with a number of options when they get to that stage in their life. And this is just one. Presumably they can afford, a care and old age home, or presumably they can stay on with their younger, their children and carry on in that manner. So I just wondered why they made the choices they did, whether, what kind of decision making went into this whole thing about choosing to move into this Ramanandi ashram. That's the first question. And the second one is, relating back to your whole point about Ulrich Beck and the, risks of modern society and all of that. This phenomenon of the ashram is, of course, an old one. Are you saying here that it is an answer to modernity's particular problems and risks, or are you saying there's something modern about